dissect this candle even further, what we read over here, as price comes into the level, we see 277 market participants hitting the bid versus only 64 hitting the ask, right? 277 for 64, right? That is a large discrepancy between the aggressive sellers and the aggressive buyers. Hence why we see a very, very large red imprint of the delta. Likewise, above 418 for 281, again, that's a large shift towards aggressive selling. Very, very important to understand this. Now, the next candle is even more interesting, where it's actually a green candle. We have a wick over here and we have a green candle, but the candle itself doesn't tell you anything. When you dive into this candle, what you really understand is that there's more sellers than there are buyers inside of a green candle. I'm going to repeat that again. You have a green candle with more sellers than buyers, right? Everyone sees a green candle and thinks, let's buy. Well, the truth is, no, you don't really want to be buying at a green candle randomly. You want to understand what's happening inside of the green candle, right? So this is 210 for 76. This means that there's a lot more aggressive sellers than buyers. Now, when we come into a bullish fair value gap, we want the fair value gap to hold. So let's just quickly read the order flow and see what we end up getting, right? This is what's super interesting about this. Now, we see the next candle over here. This is, of course, across a 15-minute period. We see the same thing over here. And this is what I want traders to understand. The behavior at this fair value gap is the most interesting thing, right? We want to see negative delta that isn't being rewarded. So what we see over here, and a little bit over here is that we see aggressive sellers which are not being rewarded. Because if the aggressive sellers were being rewarded, we would have seen lower prices. We would have seen price come and retest lower. But price simply couldn't break